June dead asleep, and she wakes up, and it's sunlight, and similar to the hotel room, that she has slept for like 14 hours. And she wakes up, she stretches, and she like gets herself going and goes downstairs, and Luke and Moira are cooking breakfast as a family unit.
I thought she was a kind of alarmed for a second when she opened her eyes in that room, though. And like, because it's dark, and like when you do sleep like that, and you just don't know where you are. And I'm sure the fact that she keeps waking up in Canada is weird because it's somewhere new and she's not sure where she is. And you know that feeling when you wake up and you just don't know where you are? I think she had a little bit of panic in her eyes of like, where is she exactly? I hear those birds chirping, and again, those birds chirped all the time in Gilead. They're birds. And then it was like the sounds, and then she meandered down and got to watch a life that she could have had if Gilead hadn't ruined everything for her.
Absolutely. A life that she never imagined that her best friend and who she imagined being her lifelong partner would have together.
I'm surprised that June didn't walk into that kitchen, look at Luke, and then look at Moira and say, "Why the fuck did you paint the kitchen this color?" Moira,
I don't even know what color the kitchen is.
Did you have a say in this? Oh, it was white fucking blue.
Oh,
it was white blue.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Didn't notice it.
Explain yourselves, Moira and Luke. Moira, you especially.
Right.
I need Luke to explain himself with this dialogue in this scene, because it jars my ears every single time when June walks in the room and his first word is Moira. It is the weirdest thing. Moira's already looking at June. She's already sees her. And then Luke kind of looks over his shoulder, and then he sees her and he goes, Moira, as if like he needs to alert Moira, partner, to intruder guest in the home has arrived, and we must now acknowledge her. It was really weird for him to not say June, but to say Moira. Like, it really just kind of hammered home what you were saying, Roxy, of like, this is new territory for June watching her relation, these two people in an entirely different context.
Yeah. Whereas like previously, June was the tenuous bond between these two. She is now the interloper.
Yeah. So weird.
It looks like there's some grocery shopping that's going to happen, and I was so confused by this conversation. So they were going to go grocery shopping together, and they were bringing the child with them. Who the fuck willingly brings a baby grocery shopping with them?
No, Moira was going to go grocery shopping, and she was going to bring Nichole with her to afford Luke and June some time alone together.
Got it. All I heard was, I'm going to take the baby and go grocery shopping. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do that if you don't have to?
Time to, have breakfast, whatever.
I just used to really hate grocery shopping with my babies, because fuck that. Yeah. Now that they're like 18, it's pretty decent.
Yeah, they can occasionally go to like their own individual aisle, like, here, go get the thing that you need. But no, like that's what that was, is that Moira was trying to offer an opportunity to remove all distractions from the house. That way Luke and June could have time one-on-one together, the same time that they could have had in the hotel room, where they had that amazing, massive breakthrough. Mm-hmm. Perhaps giving them more of that that one-on-one time would afford them more chance to kind of strengthen their bond and work through all of the things that they have wanted to communicate to each other over the last 7 years. But June's wanting none of it. She wants to go grocery shopping too, and she's craving the culture shock.
Well, it's also that, again, people keep, without asking her, taking her child. She walks in, she sees this scene play out, and I get 100% why Moira thinks this is a helpful thing to say. But then before June can even say what she wants, Luke jumps in there and says, yeah, that'd be great. And again, it's like, oh, is she ever going to get a chance to decide what she wants to do with herself and this child?
Well, you know what Roxy mentioned before when you explained to me, like, how this scene actually worked, because I was mystified for some reason. It makes me realize that June offering to go shopping was probably her excuse, so she didn't have to be alone with Luke.
Yeah.
because shit's awkward right now. And she was
Yeah.
probably like, you know what, I'm going to take that chance to get out of here right now so we can just avoid that whole awkward alone time thing.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, her welcoming that, her saying that she wants the culture shock, and Luke and Moira looking back and forth at each other to acknowledge that was for me simultaneously like them kind of looking at each other and like Moira being like, "Are you sure this is okay? Maybe we should like force the issue." But like, no, no, no. Let's let June say what she wants to say and like do what she wants to do. But also the two of them touching in with each other to understand that Luke obviously had to go through like a bit of a decompression period after coming over to Canada. Moira absolutely so. And June with an additional 3 years, with a full 7 years of this trauma under her belt, is going to potentially go through some traumatic transition. And they both seem very trepidatious about that. And I think like when June heard, "I'll go to the grocery store and leave you two alone," she heard, "I'm going to give you and Luke some time to yourself." What Moira and Luke were trying to do was, "We'll run these errands and ease you slowly back into this normal quote unquote life, and ease you back into like this new society that you're going to find yourself entrenched in. And we're going to do everything that we can to help to ease that transition while you're working through what you've been working through." If that makes sense.
It does. It raises one question for me, just the specifics of the scene, because I agree with what you're saying. Is she only a high-profile refugee, like, on the weekends? Like, why does she not have security all the time? Like, I just don't understand why they were like, okay, yes, you want to go, and I get, like, yay, freedom means freedom to say no, but then, like, so now she just roams around. Like the fact that she's uncomfortable with staying with Luke screams to me that, again, people should be helping ease this situation, and yes, maybe not every refugee does get that, but she was important, so why have they just let her like to
Figure
her
it
own
out.
devices? Like it makes me so sad that she's like trying to avoid Luke's nervous energy, and it makes me sad that Luke has to deal with all of his nervous energy, and I just wish there was someone easing this entire transition more so. And I think that debrief that they skipped seems more and more important, because in the end it seems like June decides to do debrief on her own.
Very much inclined to agree with you on that, because like had she had that debriefing with the doctor and the mental health professional that she had been promised, then perhaps what happens in the next scene wouldn't have happened, or wouldn't have been quite so intense for her.
I don't know. I think it was going to happen regardless.
Yeah, this would, but the fact that she's like afraid, I mean, yeah, I guess she's gonna have to go through it all anyway, but did she not have security there? Like, is she not that insecure yet? I don't know. Whatever.
There could have been an easing of how things happened. And in that regard, having a mental health professional to help her work through that and recognize these signs before it turned into a full-blown anxiety attack in the grocery store would have been advantageous.
Or I think that like all of the panic attack stuff surely will happen, you know, as she gets triggered forever. You know, like there's always going to be something that's going to bring it back. And exactly what you're saying, the mental health professionals will help her deal with this along the way.